Hello and welcome to Ninqueso Almost Live. I am the HD Ninqueso and I am joined by the fuzzy Miss Brie.
I'm not that fuzzy. I'm pretty harsh, actually.
You're not as good as my camera now, though.
This is episode 50.
Episode 50. Half a century we've done now.
Holy moly.
We've done now. So
that's incredible, isn't it?
So
incredible.
I think we're here to stay. Tell your friends. Get them to watch our podcast or listen to it at least. You know?
Yes.
Share it on all your social medias. Share the links on your Facebooks, on your Twitters, on your Instagrams, on your TikToks, if that's how TikTok works. I don't know, I'm old.
Oh dear. You're still on Facebook, aren't you?
I am still on Facebook.
For the over 40s.
Yeah, but it's like I want to get an Oculus Quest at some point and I have to have a Facebook account, so I can't get rid of it.
Okay. I still have a Facebook account, but I've not been on it for the longest period of time.
All I do on my Facebook account is like, I'm going live I'm streaming now over on Twitch. That's the only things I post on Facebook.
As far as I can tell, it's like 45-year-old people arguing. So, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I just hide anyone that annoys me on Facebook. I just unfollow them. I don't unfriend them. I just unfollow them. So I never have to see them again. You suddenly get a message going, it's such and such birthday. So they go, oh, am I friends with them? I didn't realise.
Yeah. What have you been playing this week?
What have I been playing? I don't think I've been playing anything new. Just chopping away at Pokemon Arceus. Yeah, that's about it really. Been on the Animal Crossing.
Yeah, I'm on the Animal Crossing. I've dug up all the yellow flowers and I've cut down a whole load of trees because I'm creating a Zen garden.
Oh.
So there's a lot of bamboo and stuff like that. I need to get like a little Buddha to kind of make my grotto. But yeah, I'm quite sort of like branching out really.
Yeah. Once you got an idea of what you want to do, it's kind of like, I need to do this. Then you get it all done and you're like, oh, now what?
Yeah, I had this just sudden idea and then I was like, okay, I'm going to move all those fruit trees over there and this is going to be bamboo and then all the yellow flowers on the island have got to go.
Yeah.
Because I don't like
yellow.
They've all got to be white or blue.
What about black? I got a load of black flowers on my island. Because if you can crossbreed flowers to get them to be like blue and black and different colours. So you need to look into a guide on that, on how to like what colours you need to plant next to each other. And you can get like a hybrid flower.
Ooh.
So I've got like a load of black tulips along like one of my riverbanks.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
what have you been playing? Oh yeah, Animal Crossing. Should we do some quick news?
Yeah.
The kind of news we don't really want to talk about, but we thought we should mention.
That's the one.
Okay, Animal Crossing New Horizons is now Japan's best-selling game ever.
Whoa.
Ever.
And they have a lot of games in Japan. They are big on their gaming, so that's pretty amazing.
They do, and it's just like, that's the best game ever. And the Switch has outsold the Wii and PlayStation as it passes 100 million units sold, faster than any other home console.
100 million. I mean, the Switch is epic.
It's on a roll. It really is on a roll at the moment. So don't expect a revision. Don't expect a Switch 2 anytime soon.
Yeah. Tell me about the rumors.
Rumours. There is a massive rumour going around that any day now we're going to get a GoldenEye 007 remaster for Xbox revealed. And the rumour, it does go on to say it's probably going to come to the Switch as well, but it'll probably be the original version on the Switch with the remaster for the Xbox.
Is this for you?
I did like GoldenEye. GoldenEye was really, really good. Played it an awful lot, but it's like trying to go back to it now is so hard because you've only got one analog stick.
Yeah.
And it's
not for me, but the next one is.
The next one, the Lord of the Rings gaming rights are now up for sale.
Yeah, I'm geek girl.
I wonder who's going to bounce on those.
I have created myself an elf character, and I'm going to do some cosplay for it. But this is for some gaming stuff, and I've finally given her a name. Her name is Elithria.
Elithria? Is this like just you generally hanging out in your apartment being like, I am Elithria? Or is it actually in a game?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and Kirby in the Forgotten Land will have amiibo support, according to Nintendo Japan.
Woohoo.
And I've added something in as well, because Nintendo UK tweeted out earlier today that as of the end of March 2023, you'll no longer be able to make eShop purchases for the Wii U and the 3DS. but you'll still be able to download your games and DLC, anything like that. Anything you've already bought, you can download still. I believe Nintendo of America tweeted the 25th of March off the top of my head. But yeah, so just over a year to get your 3DS and Wii U games in. Otherwise, they are gone forever.
Yeah.
Damn this digital age we live in. And that is the quick news.
Thank you, bestie.
Yes, right. Last Wednesday, after when the podcast should have been, there was a Nintendo Direct. And it was a good one.
I would like to apologise for that, by the way. It was a serious family emergency, although things are all okay now. There was a very unscheduled trip to the emergency room.
Yeah, I love that now just above your head. It's great on the white thing.
I know. It's right there.
Yeah, so they announced quite a few bits and bobs. And I won't go over everything. I'll just go over like the things that made me go, wow. But there is a new Mario Strikers game coming.
I've just got a quick question. Is your live stream still available on YouTube?
Yes, it's on YouTube. You can probably still get it on Twitter as well, because I streamed it over on, not Twitter. I always say this, on Twitch.
You had a link to that.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best. But yeah, there is a live stream there. So they opened up with Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes, which is set in the Three Houses universe. I don't like the Warrior game, so that was not for me whatsoever. And they gave a release date for Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, which is going to be the 8th of April. No Man's Sky is coming to the Switch, which personally I think the Switch is a good system for it, because you can just pick up and play, assuming it can run at like a half decent rate.
Because No Man's Sky is just simply huge, isn't it?
It is, but it's procedurally generated, so it's not like they need all the assets in there and then. It's all sort of generated, so it'd be interesting to see how it runs. But I think the Switch is a good platform for it.
I would play it on Switch, and I think because it's a real-time sort of game, it will do well on there.
Yeah, I think it's missed the boat a little bit, because it's been like 2016 it came out, I believe. Mario Strikers, 10th of June. That looks good. I don't like football, soccer, whatever you want to call it. I hate it. But Mario Strikers on the GameCube was pretty good. Then we got like Splatoon 3, Salmon Run. I am just doing everything here. Like a new next wave of Salmon Run. I've never played Salmon Run on that. A remake of Front Mission 1 is coming as well, and with Mission 2 coming at some point. Now, I don't know anything about that game whatsoever. Disney Speedstorm is going to be a free-to-play kart racing game, which will be on everything. They're re-releasing on 20th of April Star Wars The Force Unleashed, which is going to be the Wii version of the remake, not the 360 version. So, yeah, Assassin's Creed, we get that all the time. Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition, is coming on the 7th of April, which Chrono Cross is a remake of a PlayStation game, but it's also got the text-based Intellivision content on there as well, which is the first time Intellivision stuff has ever been ported to anything. So do you know what the Intellivision is?
No.
It was like almost like an on-demand thing for the Super Nintendo in Japan. So I know like they did Link's Awakening, they had it special, like you'd have to go on at a special time of day, special time, special date, and they would stream, like give you content at that time. So it's like very niche. Not many people have played them whatsoever. We had another look at Kirby in the Forgotten Land. That looks awesome. You've now got like a mouthful mode where he can like eat cars and turns into a car and eats vending machines, and it looks crazy. MLB The Show is coming to the Switch as well, which I think the interesting thing about that is it's got cross progression on all of the systems. So admittedly, it looks very rough on the Switch, but if you're very into it and you're playing it on one of the more powerful consoles, it's nice to have a version that you can just take with you on the go and then still progress through. Then for some reason they show Kingdom Hearts, the cloud versions.
Why?
I know. Klonoa is getting a remake as well of the first and second Klonoa games, which is going to be here on the 8th of July. Portal is coming to the Switch as well this year sometime. Then we got like another big one, which is, I've never heard of this game, but Live Alive, which was a Super Nintendo game that only ever released in Japan. It's a Square Enix RPG. And yeah, it's getting a remake in the 2D HD that they're using, and it looks pretty good. Pretty good. Then we'll jump ahead, blah, 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 blah. Metroid Dread got a free update, which was available then. which was basically dread mode. So one hit deaths. No matter what hits you, you're dead. Game over. Which I just was like, no, I can't do that.
Gosh.
And then later on in the year, we'll be getting a boss rush mode. Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings came along to the Nintendo Switch Online service as well. So they're both available now to play. Let's see. We're gonna the one that most important to me was the second to last stuff, but yeah, they finished with Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which will be coming on September 22nd. Not 22nd, September 2022. No actual date in September. So the new Xenoblade Chronicles game is coming out then. I've dabbled in a couple of the Xenoblade stuff, but never really given it much time. But the big one for me anyway, and like at the start of my stream, when I was like doing the rambling before we actually went into it, I just kind of said, because there was rumours about Mario Kart 9 or 10, because there's this debate now whether Mario Kart Tour on mobile phones is actually Mario Kart 9. So is it going to be 10 we're going to get next? But I kind of said with how well it's doing, it makes no sense for them to release the next Mario Kart. It would make more sense to release DLC. And that is what we are getting. We are getting a Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC pack. So basically, what this is, you got 8 tracks coming over 6 waves. So that's a total of 48 tracks, which is basically a whole game. All the tracks are going to be based on the previous Mario Kart games, including Mario Kart Tour as well. So I know in the first wave we are getting one of those. I think that's such a good idea, really. And it's also, it's DLC, which is like in the UK, it's $22.50, I believe it is, $25 in America. But if you've got the expansion pass, it's just included in there. But Nintendo have clarified things as well. So if you don't have the DLC and you're playing online matches, you could still end up in a game with the new tracks. You don't actually have to own them to be able to play them online, which I think is very good, because otherwise you're going to be splitting the player base up. So yeah, so you don't technically need to own the thing to be able to play them, but it's random whether you'll get them in a online match. But if you want to play them single player or with players on your own console, you have to get the DLC. On the whole, I mean, I liked it. That was pretty good. I'm excited for a few things that are coming out. Yeah,
there's a lot there for you to get your teeth
into. Yes, it was 40 minutes at 10 o'clock at night, which is not good because I was up at 4:30 for work the next day.
Yeah, not the best time for you, but
but I was like, well, there was no podcast. I might as well stream it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, is there anything there that caught your eye? Have you even looked into it? Because you just told me I was doing the whole of this story.
Yeah. I know how much you've enjoyed Mario Kart, so the whole DLC for that I'm interested to see, and particularly because you've streamed it before.
Yeah, and that's coming out like from between, I think March is the first one's coming out, and then they want to get them all out by the end of 2023. So that really does put the nail in the coffin for a new Mario Kart game on the Switch. It's not going to happen. And I honestly think when the next Switch comes out, what we're going to get is Mario Kart 8 Ultra Deluxe, which is going to have all this content bundled in. That's my gut feeling.
I just cast my eye over it quickly, and that's what I picked out. Interesting.
Okay, should we move on then?
Yeah, let's move on to Gary Bowser.
Gary Bowser
in 3 years jail time. So this is leader of the Switch hacking group, Team Executor. So he's been sentenced to 40 months in jail for piracy.
Yeah.
The estimated damage to Nintendo is $65 million. He'd already agreed to pay two separate fines. So $4.5 million to Nintendo of America as restitution, and $10 million also to Nintendo of America as monetary relief, and he had all his consoles destroyed.
That basically means he's paying that for the rest of his life.
Dude has gone down for 40 months. So I think they've perhaps exaggerated the damages here just slightly. $65 million in losses. I'm not sure it was actually that much, but
it's hard to say though, because like essentially there's like, I think something like 20 million Switches out there, which are the first iteration of it, that are so easily hacked.
So what they have actually said about this is the damage it does to small game developers and so on, which is true. What they're saying is that the losses went beyond harm, sort of the losses to the business, small creative studios, and stuff like that. And there's a little bit of a backlash online to this, sort of comparing sort of the types of jail terms that you get for, other crimes. Particularly things like sexual assault and so on, which are obviously very, very serious crimes. And then a money-related crime seems to be taken much more seriously. But myself, I think, this guy set up a huge operation.
Yeah, it's not like he was just selling like pirated DVDs at the back of his car at the pub sort of thing, is it? It's like it was an international thing.
What Nintendo are like, right? Everybody in gaming knows what Nintendo are like, and let's be honest here. This guy made himself hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And it's illegal. And so for me, I'm like, okay, well, yeah, you get what you.
There's also two others as well, isn't there?
Reap what you sow. So two other prominent
who
members
aren't
of the
in
group
custody at the moment
have been charged, but they're not in custody. And obviously Bowser's been in federal custody since September of 2020.
Yeah.
So I doubt you'll serve all of this.
I think one of the interesting things is like
get out early, but
when this happened, Nintendo immediately put a statement out, because I think they are trying to send a message to everyone now, like, look, don't do this. It's bad. We will go after you, and 40 months of prison is a substantial part. It's a substantial time.
Yeah, but interestingly, the US government were actually arguing for 5 years.
Ooh.
So dude got away light. But this is, I have to laugh. It's like, well, this is Nintendo. What did you think was going to happen?
I know, and we all know Bowser never comes out on top at an end of a Nintendo.
Yeah, this is Gary Bowser, not the Bowser. But yeah, the fact that there's more than one person named Bowser in the gaming world stuns me.
It's just funny, like the surname of the person, the head of Nintendo America now, his final name is Bowser. Can't remember what his first name is.
So interesting story that.
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay, what do you think about censorship on games?
This story, so this is about Martha is Dead, which has been censored on PlayStation.
Yeah. PlayStation decided not censored on Xbox or PC.
I am not in favour of this, quite honestly.
No.
The scene apparently is quite distressing.
Yes.
I haven't viewed it myself.
I've not viewed it. I've heard what it is. And it's not something I really want to talk about what it is on this podcast, because we're sort of... It's gruesome. It is very gruesome.
To go into the details of this, but apparently it is quite distressing. However, with that said, there are certifications in place.
That's the thing. It had already got an ESRB rating, and it wasn't like adults only. It was mature, but yet Sony decided that they had to change that part, which also meant, I mean, this company that's releasing it is not a massive studio. And they've had to delay the physical release of the PlayStation version because they've obviously got to go in and change all the code. So that's going to cost them money as well. I think it's bad. It's kind of like, it's not like you're playing Animal Crossing, all of a sudden it's like horrific happens. You know going into this game that it's a horror game that's dealing with these kind of issues. So it's not the first time.
This is a horror game that's got its own certification. And I really don't like that decision being made for me. I probably wouldn't play this anyway. But you should be able to choose. We are all adults. This is the point. I think we go into very difficult, and I think this feeds into the sort of tropes that we've always had about video games are corrupting our youth. Right.
Yeah.
So when I first started gaming, it was Pong. So there was no worries about the moral turpitude or anything like that.
I don't know, that ball took a beating though, didn't it?
But we've always had this. We've always had, sort of like, and the same thing with heavy rock music.
Yeah.
And,
I think the interesting thing is back in like the 90s, it was always Nintendo that was these really strict, like Mortal Kombat. No, you can't have red blood in the game. But now it's kind of shifted. So it's like, Sony, this isn't the first time Sony's done this. They have got companies to change their games on their platform when they've been not on other ones. So I think there was I can't remember what game it was, but I'm sure there was one where Sony actually said, no, you had to change this, but it was like allowed on the Nintendo Switch. So yeah, and it's, like you say, it's got a rating by an independent board, and that's what they are there for. So I don't understand why Sony have done this.
Well, again, this feeds into that whole thing that's been going on for not just decades, but for centuries. There's always some kind of moral panic about something that's corrupting our youth. So, obviously, if it's not computer games, it's death metal, or it's TikTok, or, it's the Tide Pod craze, or whatever it is. There's always some kind of moral panic about this is corrupting our youth. People are wasting time. People don't talk to each other. It's mobile phones. And this is just not the case. Human society evolves, and very little. And when you look into the actual research, video games don't cause extra violence. Social media doesn't cause people to disconnect from their peer group. These things are all kind of urban legends about terrible things that happen to people.
They're easy shift the blame. That's what I think more of it. It's like...
It is. And we have the certification process for a reason to give that guidance. So we don't need to buy into, the moral panic of the day. And I think this is what this is doing, really. Not that I want to see the scene considered.
No, like I say, I don't play horror games.
I'm not interested in that. But there will be people who are and who can handle it. And that's up for them. I don't, feel, this is warranted, honestly.
Like you say, it's like Sony is saying, no, you're not allowed to see this. It's going to be bad. And it's like, well, I'll just buy the Xbox or the PC version then.
It's a no from me, I'm afraid.
Yeah, it's not good. Sony, stop it.
So, moving on, Nintendo expects the sale of evergreen games to decline. So they are shifting.
That's because everyone's going to own them.
That's
because everyone's going to own them.
Yeah, well, this is to do with the fact that, you will reach saturation point of the number of consoles that we've got in people's hands.
Yeah, it's like, I know it's like 100 million consoles now out there in the wild, but when you look at games like Mario Kart's close to like a 50% ownership. It's almost against the law to have a Switch and not own Mario Kart, and like Animal Crossing's up there like 35 million or something like that now, probably a bit more. So obviously you'll get to a point where that will decline, and obviously this is talking about they're going to have to start putting in new games out.
I mean, things like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is still getting millions of sales every year, but we will get to a point where that's not going to be the case anymore because of the saturation of number of units.
Exactly. There's really much more to say on this one, is there?
So evergreen titles made up a large share of overall software sales in the last fiscal year, but they're projecting that will be much less. I think the investment's
they're saying it's going to be.
That's a bad thing.
Looking at only the 3 months between October and December, evergreen titles comprise approximately 50% due to the strong sales of new titles. Pokemon Arceus being one of them. It's already. This was a story mentioned last week, but it's already in the few days that it was out. It's already gone past 6 million copies.
Yeah, it's really big, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. I do enjoy it. It's nice, the whole difference, like how different it is from all the other games.
And people can see you streaming that on Twitch.
Exactly. No one watches it though. They prefer. I get better viewings for playing Twilight Princess HD version, which is a game that came out ages ago.
Right, let's move on then.
Yes, moving on.
This is a story about Microsoft that want to create a universal store to work on.
Yeah, this is weird. I don't see how they're going to get this to work.
And what you can actually do are usually two separate things.
Yes, I don't think this is going to be something that's ever going to work, because why would Sony and Nintendo let Microsoft have a store on their consoles? It makes no sense.
See, this is the thing that people are just thinking about, phones. But once you open up that door, like you say, why would why would they put that on their consoles, Sony and Nintendo?
It's either like they're going to want their 15%, or which is either going to mean if you buy it from those stores, it's going to be more expensive, or Microsoft's going to be losing money on it.
Yeah, so, and the consensus across the gaming world is what?
Yeah.
Why? What
to me, all you need is your store to be on your console, PC, and mobile. If you're on those three things, you're fine. Because I'm not really looked into the Microsoft one, whether you can just buy games from the phone. I know you can with Sony and you can with Nintendo. You can buy digital stuff from their stores and it will just upload to your device. I don't understand why you'd want it on other consoles. It makes no sense.
The only thing that I would say about this is it speaks to the fact that Xbox have said that Google and Amazon are their main competitors.
Yeah. Which obviously they're everywhere. But,
yeah,
I mean, Google isn't a games developer whatsoever. Amazon's dabbling in it. And I think their latest game, I can't remember what it's called. It's just come out on Steam, but it's an MMO and it's really doing well. Yeah. But it's free to play.
I just think, anybody who's followed the Epic and Apple saga over the past 18 months will know that this is probably a long way off from happening.
Yeah, so, I don't see it happening in my lifetime, really.
No, that's a bit of a weird
buy the latest Halo game from your Nintendo Switch. I just don't understand.
Yeah. So Microsoft want Call of Duty on Switch, along with other Activision Blizzard games.
Yes, Microsoft have come out and said that Call of Duty is definitely going to still be on PlayStation, even after the existing deals are gone. Is this them saying all the right things because the FFC is looking into them? Or is it actually true? It's hard to say, isn't it?
Before, there's so much shift going on at the moment, and when we're looking at these huge acquisitions that have been made recently, we are having to look at, competition in the sector is narrowing down, and we're going to get to a point where the regulator will get involved. So is there a lot of shuffling around and statements being made to divert attention? I would think so.
Yeah, and obviously all they need to do to say, Call of Duty will still be on is if they just leave Warzone on the PlayStation. No, Warzone's there. That's a Call of Duty game.
This is Microsoft President Brad Smith that said this. This is assuming that the purchase of Activision Blizzard goes ahead as planned, because it's not over till Fat Lady sings. But he did cite the fact that Minecraft is available.
This is true. I think if they are keeping it on everything, what will probably happen is there'll be a 6-month exclusivity deal, exclusive on Xbox before it goes to other platforms. And the other thing you got to think of, it's on Xbox, it's going to be on Game Pass, so you don't actually have to pay $70 to buy £70, $70, whatever country you live in. You don't actually have to pay that to play the game. And I think they will come out on Xbox first, then they'll come out on PlayStation. And obviously it's they want it on Nintendo Switch, because obviously Nintendo Switch now has passed 100 million units. If you're looking at PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series, they're a long way away now from being the install base.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that you want games on those, but I don't know. I don't trust this statement in my gut. I think this is just saying things for the right reasons. But then again, if
available on Nintendo hardware was Ghosts, which was back in 2013
with the Wii U, wasn't it? I think I've got that. I think I do have that game.
Yeah. So I would agree with you.
But then on the flip side of me saying I'm very dubious about whether this statement is true, if they realise that if they stop it from going to other consoles, that this deal won't go through, then it makes no. It's probably we might as well put it on there. What's the point in losing this deal just for those couple of games?
Yeah.
So it's a wait and see kind of thing. But in my gut, I feel they're doing this just because they're under investigation at the moment with the deal. Whether it will stay like that, who knows? Because obviously, once it's gone through, all bets are off.
I think that's true.
So it's a wait and see on that one. Let us know what you think.
Okay, so the next story, let's come back to Konami, who are as much scumbags as Ubisoft, aren't they?
Yeah.
To be honest. So this is about NFTs. For those who don't know what those are, non-fungible tokens, which we covered a couple of episodes back. So head on back to, I think it's 48 when I gave a bit of an explanation of that. It's basically it's a digital digital object, which can be anything, but in this situation, it's what they're seeing it as is commemorative art.
Yes.
Now, when they announced this,
to preserve the content as commemorative art,
backlash. People were not at all happy about this, but not at all bothered by the huge backlash. They have doubled down.
Yeah,
and said,
I mean, the way I look at it, though,
preserving content.
I understand the companies want to make money, but as a consumer, just don't buy it.
Yeah,
it's not like, oh my god, this is ruining everything. It's just like, well, if just don't buy it, then they won't carry on because they're not making money from it. So what's the point?
It is cynical. So I understand why people are just like,
yeah, it's annoying. It's just like, why? It's just,
yeah. Why would you?
I think it's because it's the whole an exclusive thing that's not, you can't hold it. You can't. It's just code on a bloody computer, and you just think, why am I paying money for that? Yeah, it's an odd one.
So yeah, obviously when initially announced, it didn't go down well, and this has gone down even less.
Yes.
So yeah, you're scumbags. Yeah. And that's me speaking for the gaming world. I've taken the temperature and it's not looking good.
It's not. But do you know what makes gaming better?
Well,
have you ever been playing games and think to yourself, do you know what? I want to eat some nut butter while doing this. I hate the way they call it nut butter. Can't it be called peanut butter?
I have actually done that, I'm sorry to say.
But yeah, the world's first gaming nut butter is made for gamers to eat while gaming.
It's not strictly a nut butter, though. Some of it is like peanut butter and jelly. And for those in the UK, that's basically jam. Peanut butter and jam together.
It's a weird combination.
But what they've done is they've kind of whipped up blueberries and raspberries and the peanut butter all together. And what they've said is it's to be eaten with a spoon out of the jar, which is my style. I would say.
I've done that with peanut butter many a time. Quick spoonful of peanut butter.
The first time I did that in front of my man hunk, he was literally horrified.
Why?
And he was like, that is just disgusting. I was like, what? What's wrong? Doesn't everybody eat peanut butter out of the jar by the spoon? I mean, is this
now if
just
it'd been Marmite, then yeah, I'd agree that would be pretty disgusting if it had been a spoonful of Marmite.
Is it? Is this like a game? Is it a gamer thing?
I don't know, but apparently they feel there's a demand for it. That gamers want to eat peanut butter. While
I would buy this if it wasn't £10 a jar.
Wow,
so that's 10 British pounds per jar.
That is a lot of money.
Very expensive.
Is it like okay? Now you get like the energy drinks for like gamers. Does it have anything like that in it? Is it like going to make your gaming better? Is it going to make you more like focused on what you're doing, more like alert?
Well, what they're calling it is a Berry Matrix peanut butter energy crunch. I think the answer to that is no. So I could get a good quality jar of peanut butter for about £1.50 and a jar of jam for about 50p. So
exactly.
For a couple of quid, I could make my own.
Do it yourself.
And probably get twice as much. And I think this is, let's have a look, it's about 300-gram jar. So it's not a huge amount, although it's bigger than a standard jar of peanut butter. But it's quite expensive. So it's Jobbies, which is in the UK is not the best sort of not the best title for it. They've not thought this through, really. It's a big jobbie.
Oh dear, that's bad.
I know, right? I don't know. So it's basically a combination of Joseph and Debbie.
Maybe that's what happens after you eat a big jar.
Yeah,
you have your big job.
If you eat a whole big jar, you will leave a big jobbie somewhere. Yeah, this gross, isn't it?
It is.
Anyway, it's a crunchy peanut butter mousse made from dry roasted peanuts mixed with freeze-dried blueberries and strawberries to get the
a mousse. So it's light and fluffy.
Yeah, that's a weird one. I don't know how they've done that. I think it must be because it's dry roasted peanuts, because normally peanut butter's a bit sticky and it kind of sticks to your roof of your mouth, which I like personally.
Exactly. And
not everybody does.
Be easier to eat it while gaming, so you put the spoon in your mouth and you just like suck on it for a bit.
Yeah, that's true. I should imagine you could eat it a lot quicker though, with it being fluffy and meaty.
Yeah, but for £10 a jar, you're gonna knock one of these jars out of go, aren't you? There's going to be people sat on the street corners begging, I need money for like my peanut butter.
Yeah. They are saying this is rich in antioxidants, which as a qualified nutritionist myself would say there's better ways to get your antioxidants, frankly.
Yeah, but they need to latch onto anything in the marketing, don't they?
Well, yeah.
Make it sound better.
I think that's the end of our stories today, Bestie.
That is the end of the stories, which brings us in to questions. And remember, if you do have a question, I've got two questions. I've got two questions, two different people. Do you want to go first?
I will go first. So my question is, what is our favourite outdoor activity?
Oh, I don't know.
This was sent to me this morning by a fan of the show and wants to know for both of us what's our favourite outdoor activity.
Oh, man, it depends where you go with it, doesn't it?
It depends on the time of year, to be honest. In the summer,
the theme parks. The theme parks count as an outdoor activity.
Yeah. In the winter, where I live, there are a lot of outdoor ice rinks. So I like the whole outdoor ice rink, bundled up in one bit. In the summer, generally, I like sitting by the local lake with a nice beverage.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. At the moment,
I don't go out.
What I'm doing is roller skating outdoors, but that's on the terrace on the top of the building.
So you're going to fall off one day and lady falls off top of a building.
There's a railing around the side.
Even so.
If somebody rings you and said Miss Bree fell 10 floors, you'll go, okay, she was wearing a roller skates.
Did she have roller skates on? Yeah, I thought so. Told her she needed pads.
It is on the 13th floor, so it would be Miss Bree fell 14 stories.
And that's when you wish you had a helmet on.
At that point, I would reach terminal velocity so quick it wouldn't matter. I would embed myself.
Just spread out like a cat when they fall. It's like...
Yeah. So what's your favourite outdoor
activity? I don't know. I don't go out very often.
No. You do like walking around the park with me.
Well, only because there's fat squirrels and fat pigeons.
That's true.
Giving them cashew nuts is quite funny. They like cashew nuts. Like...
Yeah, I usually give them peanut butter.
You give them protein bars, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I bought some did buy some. I did take when me and BP Bartlett went there. We did buy like a fresh, like the whole, not roasted or anything, nuts. Like gave them some, gave them some cashews and gave them. No, they had some cashews and some Brazil nuts.
Ooh, yeah.
Which they quite liked. Apart from one squirrel who was just like kept coming up for them, but all it was doing was just burying them. It was like, we're not giving you any more, you're just burying them. If we're not going to get to see you, if we're not going to get the enjoyment of watching you eat it, you're not having any more.
Okay, so you like a walk in the park?
I don't mind going for a walk. I mean, if theme parks are all outside, I love going on roller coasters. That's an outside activity. You don't really do that inside.
Yeah, we should do that actually.
It's been ages since we've been to the Towers of Alton variety. They must have a new ride there by now. I'm sure there was one that was just opening. I can't remember.
We'll sort that out.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's the question you...
Questions from us, which is this relates to what I just did. From Charlotte Gill. Just said a whole name then. What is your favourite nut?
My favourite nut.
And remember, this is a family podcast.
Almonds, really. So anything, I like almond croissant.
Do donuts count?
No, pistachios. I like either almond or pistachio flavoured anything.
Pistachios are quite nice. They're okay. I do like just monkey nuts are quite good.
Yeah, they
are pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the end of our question?
No, we have another question from Gemma the Gay, and this is to you specifically. Do you enjoy London, Miss Bree?
I do like London. I'm here sort of like about half the week at the moment because I have commitments where you live. So, but yes, I do. Today I've been out to a meditation class at lunchtime, and yesterday I went to a little boutique gym near Sloane Square. Yeah, it's good. There's lots to do here, which is probably best because obviously nobody I love lives here. So I'm able to keep busy. But yeah, I do like my own space, and my flat is great. So yeah, I do enjoy it. Although I think probably fairly soon I'll have to think about letting my flat and getting a place back near the people that I love. Because
they all moved away when you moved down there.
They all miss me so much, don't they, bestie?
Yes. Don't hurt me. Was that the right response? Did I do well?
Very good, yeah.
That is all the questions. And remember, if you do have a question for us, you can leave a comment on the YouTube video, or if you're listening to the podcast, you can do hashtag Ninqueso Live on their Twitter, and we will get it.
Where can they find you, bestie?
Well, you can find me on Twitch. I got it right this time. Which is Ninqueso, where I stream. Normally, I stream Thursday, Friday, Sunday, Monday. Normally, although occasionally I will have to drop one out because I'm just broken from work. Or you can find me on the Facebooks at Ninqueso74, or you can find me on the Twitter at Ninqueso1. I hate the one after it.
You can find me on Twitter. Here, that's my thing. Miss Gamer Girl, Miss Brie, GMRGRL_MISSBRIE. So I tweet about gaming, neurodivergence, little bit of politics, should I see it necessary, but not too much. Yeah, come and find me there and ask me a question. I'm quite interactive, and my account isn't locked, so you can say pretty much whatever you want until I block you.
Good old block button. But if you have made it this far, thank you so much. And please remember, if you're watching this on YouTube, to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with all of the uploads. If you're listening to this on a pod, if you listen, smash it, bang, hit that, bang, punch it, do whatever it takes to get it done. We've been stuck on the same amount of subscribers for a long time now. We want more. And if you listen to this on your favourite podcast place, please leave a review, because it apparently does help.
It does, yeah. It brings us to the attention of people who don't know how fabulous we are.
Exactly.
Is it time to do the Batman?
Yes, it is. It is time for the outro.
Have you thought of something?
I've kind of. Let's do it.
Okay, I'll count you in.
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Will Ninqueso podcast ever be popular enough to be able to afford Jobber's Nut Butter every week? Find out the questions to these answers. Same cheesy time, same cheesy channel. And Miss Brie is dying.
Actual stories may vary. Sorry for that. Say goodnight, bestie.
Good night, bestie.